Hi guys, this is Melody Words. I am just doing the Module 3 discussion for today. I've watched a few of the different videos that Professor Wesch has put up, throughout the years, and it's really interesting to me to see how things change, just for instance, from 2004 to 2008. I'm sure his video in 2004 was extremely informative, but when you go to watch it just even 2, 3, 4 years later, there's so much information that has changed, and how you do things with technology is totally different. I think the primary focus is him just showing you exactly how things change and how quickly they change with technology and the internet and everything like that. Another thing that has changed with technology and how the internet has changed is how we study and how we learn and how we read things and everything like that. We no longer have to go to the library to get books and look up, files and go to different people to find out information on the topic that we're studying. All we have to do is get online, go to Google, type in what we're looking for, and it's just at the click of a finger. It's so much easier now to do those things. I remember when I was younger, to get on AOL, nobody could be on the phone, and then you'd have to wait, for it to actually connect, and then once it connected, it was 5 minutes just to get to, the website that you're wanting, and it was quite the process to do all of that. And now I get frustrated, if it's 5-6 seconds and my internet isn't loading. It's just totally different, and that's, just from, 15 years ago, things change so quickly. Another thing that's changed is how we socialize with one another. Now it's so much easier to just use technology to communicate. All you have to do, is text, get on Snapchat, get on Facebook, get on all of those, and that's how people are now communicating with one another versus, in person, actually having conversations face to face, things like that. That has totally changed throughout the time, as everything else has. The sky is literally the limit with technology and all of that. It's so much easier to access everything that's out there. I can totally relate to the videos that he posted and the information that he was saying, because I remember a lot of those changes. I'm not the greatest with technology, but I'm decent and I can do the majority of things, and I can see how quickly times are changing versus from when I was in high school, how I had to turn in papers, and it's totally different now. I think it's a lot easier, but it's just different. The internet's different. All of it is different. I think as a future teacher, it's important to stay up to date, with how technology is changing, and there's so much, each year that's new that you need to learn about and you need to be familiar with, because a lot of those things are going to help you to be a better teacher and to better connect with your children, and you need to stay up to date on that, I feel. But I feel a lot of the school districts help you to do that, but you need to be on it, because it's going to make your classroom better, it's going to help you communicate with parents better, it's going to help you, your students too. I think one thing that would be cool for maybe like a middle school, late elementary, middle school, high school, would be for the students to make their own blog, to read others' blogs, things like that. There's so many interesting blogs out there and so many good writers that are on there that you can learn so much about. Maybe, if you had students reading students from other schools' blogs, or, something like that, that would be a really good way, to help your students to be able to blog and to use the internet and things like that easier. Another thing that I think is really cool now is Skype. If the students have like group projects and things like that, a lot of times, middle school, they can't drive, so it's hard to, get all of the students to be able to be in the same area outside of school at all. But with things like Skype, you just have to get on your computer, you're able to see one another, communicate, figure out what you need to do, and work together. I think teaching your students how to use Skype, and another thing that Skype is good for is a lot of times conference time. Some parents, they don't have time to come to the school, but they can get on Skype and you can communicate and get the information back and forth that you need to do. Facebook and Twitter and things like that, I go back and forth on. I think they are really good, they can be beneficial to students and teachers and things like that, but a lot of times the students are too young that are on there. There's a lot of bullying and things like that that come along with it. But on the other hand, sometimes Facebook and Twitter you can use to communicate with, your parents too. The sports teams, things like that. you know, what's going on at school, what your student, you know, don't forget, this is due tomorrow, tomorrow's picture day, things like that. So I think you have to, you know, there's a fine line, and you have to find that. And I used iCrumbs for the bookmarks. I don't know yet if I really like it. I did a couple bookmarks and tried to kind of play around with it. But for now, it seems to be doing good. So we'll see. Okay, thanks guys.